The coroner was a good friend of mine. He owned a funeral home in town, and he mentioned to me that we needed somebody to be a police chaplain in town because there were so many things being done wrong when there was a death in the community or out on the interstate. And that afternoon, I witnessed a young man being told by a police officer that his wife had been killed in a car accident. And I saw how horribly wrong it went. And that day I decided that that's something that I needed to do, needed to be involved in. Talked to the sheriff, and he was behind it 100%, and got started immediately. The following day we started the program, and it grew dramatically from that point on to include Shop with a Cop program where we helped 100 kids every Christmas with programs that got them to know the police officers and the police officers to know the kids who were in stressful situations at home. And it was a great way to connect with the community through the Boys Club, through the Sheriff's Department, police departments, and it was a great way to get to know everybody in the community.
When you saw that go wrong, when you saw that go wrong, your instinct was, I mean, there's two reactions to that maybe. The one is that, wow, this is just an ugly thing that I want to get as far away from as I can, or I know exactly what should have been done there, and then so you just like a fish in water. You were, yeah. Absolutely.
In fact, as I got a hold of the young man after the police officer had said what he said, and took him outside, and we just talked and set it up where he was out of town. He was a military man being moved to a different base, and his wife was killed out on the interstate in the car behind him. Just what was said to him was so outrageously bad that, first of all, he didn't realize that his wife was dead. And second of all, there was nobody there to pick him up when he finally figured it out. And I had to do something. Otherwise, I don't know what would happen to this young man. Great part was he used to come through every time he came back to visit his folks down in Texas. He would stop in and see us, and we'd have lunch together or just sit and visit for a while. But
explain that relationship that people that is forged between you and people that you have this moment of
Yeah, I'm not really sure how to explain that, because people react in one of two ways. They either glass over and they start asking some of the strangest questions, like, where is my husband's computer? He just bought new tires for the car. Can I get the tires off the car, kind of thing? Or they go completely berserk and, they'll start kicking things and, hitting the walls and that kind of stuff. But once that initial shock is over with, then you can sit down with them and you're talking to them about the most traumatic thing that's ever happened to them in their entire life. And that's the only way. You have to be able to set up a bond with them. They have to be able to trust you, because you are the only one at that moment that they have to rely on. And you're the one that's bringing them the worst news ever. So you have to bring them the news, but you have to start the healing process immediately thereafter. And that's how those bonds are forged. I still hear from people that I delivered notifications to years and years ago on Facebook, and all of a sudden I'll get this friend request from a mom that I shared, that her daughter was killed in a car accident. And all of a sudden now she's a Facebook friend of mine, and this was 17 years ago. So it's a pretty amazing thing.